So we're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy Up North podcast. Not sponsored by Prime Energy Drink. It's a nerdy podcast hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul. And we're joined by... Oh, wait.
Nobody's here.
Nobody's with us. Why does no one want to join us anymore? Is everyone sick of us, or is it just a fun episode with me and Sammy kicking it real, kicking it old school?
Kicking it OG style.
But yes, we are very tired today as well because we've had because with us being old and having to go outside and see people and try and look after people, make sure everything's happy and smiling. Keep Lee entertained because Lee's like the biggest child I've ever known. He's just says, dyed his hair fucking red. Why have you done that, Lee?
Why? What is wrong with you?
You weirdo.
And also parking miles away from a venue too. All because you wanted to go into town to buy a bag.
That's not the truth. You don't like change. Let's be honest, Sam.
No, that's the thing though. I actually go swimming there. I park there all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I don't know that place. It's just I really wanted that bag.
Right.
And I was hoping to the heavens that bag was going to be there. And lo and behold, it was.
Very much so.
Thank God for that. Otherwise, we'd be walking out of the town with absolutely nothing. Well, no, that's not true, because you got something.
Yeah, we all got something. Everyone gets something. And when we hang about with each other as well, we always come back with sexually transmitted diseases as well. Well, hi, Donna.
Oh. Time for the clinic tomorrow.
Yes. It's got to get that shot in the ass again, but yes. So yes, I've been teasing you a little bit this week, so I know, Sammy knows the big secret, and bless her, just kept the secret so well. So we do have a little bit of an announcement at Nerdy Up North. It might be a good announcement. It might be a sad announcement. Depends on how you view it. But people might be happy. They might do a dance. You never know. So, when it comes to the podcast, with great power comes great responsibility. Getting the hint in for the top grumps next week when Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
When I knew I was doing this episode, there was a line in this movie that kind of resonated with me quite much. And like I say, it is quite an emotional movie for me. As Sammy found out last night, it is quite a powerful movie at times. Mm-hmm. But there's a quote from Jack Black that really says, when he comes to talks about a certain star or an act or what they do, it's basically, is it better to burn out or fade away? So, and again, it just gets you thinking, do I want to keep doing this until it gets too much or till people get sick of us? Or do we leave, do an office, like the Ricky Gervais office when people are clamoring for more? Yes. So tonight is not the last episode of the Nerdy Up North podcast, but it is the last Nerdy Up North podcast with me. So this is me bowing out. I'm not bowing out from Nerdy Up North. I'm bowing out from podcasting. So, yes, I'll be doing the stuff behind the scenes, but this will be the last time you see me. Hope you get enough of me now, bitches. But yes.
Take them all in, people, because next week he won't be here.
Nope. So yes, so it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be interesting. And I always said, I can't end my Nerdy Up North career on a top 5 because we started on a top 5, and this movie is one of the biggest top 5s that there ever is. So yes.
Yeah, as I learned last night, I'll do the disclaimer if I can get through the disclaimer. I'm just reading all the comments coming in, and then we'll crack on with this week's episode. So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. If you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us on the Facebook page, the Discord, or the comment section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong, because we can all agree to disagree in fandom. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of nerdism.
Yes. And we've done that well. We've done that well for 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, keep going. Like I say, it's always interesting and it always keeps us on our toes as well. But yes, we will continue the good fight for all nerds out there. And just to say thank you as well, because we are almost at 14,000 followers on the Nerdy Up North Facebook community.
Crazy.
Hopefully, as I said, the restrictions on Facebook will be lifted so we still can continue to grow on the actual Facebook page, because I think we're sitting at 73,000, almost at 7,000 on Instagram, and all the other platforms that we do play about with and have fun with as well. And again, I'm so excited about the content and the stuff that's coming out. Like, honestly, the stuff that Lee's been doing and Chris at the Top Grumps is so fun. Monsters is getting amazing. So yes, this is always going to be fun, and it's always going to be have a laugh there.
Yeah. I mean, what you've got to appreciate is we started this 3 years ago. I may have started it with the top fives, not knowing that this is where it would lead to in the end. But what you've also got to take into account is that he has done this for 3 years without any stoppage. He's not taken breaks. I've had breaks. I've been on holiday. I've had people stand in for us. I took a break when Monsters came up. He has not taken a break in 3 years. You have to give it up for Mr. Paul Watson.
Yes. So, and I couldn't think of a better film to talk about. And as we were chatting earlier, Sam watched this movie for the first time last night. So did you like the movie, Sammy?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's another one of those movies that I thought to myself while watching it, how have I managed to let this pass with this amount of time? And then when they start going, and top five this, and top five that, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that is our podcast. Yeah. That is literally the starting point of our podcast. That's how we started. If you go back to earlier, I mean, we haven't done a top five in nearly a year now.
Yeah, because like I say, it was getting harder and harder to keep that rolling and keeping it interesting, shall we say there?
Yeah, and it's a lot of hard work. Like with the movie reviews, it's one movie.
Yes.
And if you want to take a deep dive into it, then by all means you can. If you don't, then you don't. You just go off what you've watched. It's you can make it as easy or as simple or easy as hard as you want it to be. But with top fives, like, they're fucking draining. They're so draining.
And then you were getting annoyed if someone picked your pick, and it was just like, yeah.
I had a whole episode where someone had all my pick, and it was the first time I ever met him. Good job, we're still good friends today, Jake.
But yeah, what was it as well? I think we did a Disney episode. I think it was one of the ones that you were where we had so many people on that it was nearly over 3.5 hours long, and we were like near the end of the episode just going, just fucking tell us what your 5 picks are now.
Yeah, it was my 40th. I think that was the last one, because it was my 40th birthday weekend, and it was while I was in the cabin, and I tuned in to see if Graham did me disclaimer, realised I'd wrote it wrong, and then I was like, right, I'm out. And then I checked in like a few hours later thinking, oh, they'll be finished by now. No, you were still going.
But still going, yeah. Still talking away, still me just trying to get to the end, but yeah, that was.
I don't care about Disney no more.
Yeah, Disney died for me that day.
The day
Disney died. But quite a musical tone there. So, have you got the taglines for this one there, Sammy?
Yeah, I've only got 2 taglines for this one. First one is "Let's get it on, maybe tonight."
Oh, right.
No question mark, just maybe tonight.
Okay.
The second one is, I think this is something that would have been on a promotional poster.
Right.
A comedy about fear of commitment, hating your job, falling in love, and other pop favourites.
Oh, interesting. I couldn't say that been. Yeah.
For a movie of how it was, them taglines they're not the greatest.
Yeah.
So it makes me think, how much publicity did this movie get? Because I've gone through taglines where it's had all the promotional taglines on that were on posters, on trailers, on, do you know what I mean? There's just 2.
Yeah. Well, it's weird though, because when this came out, there was a lot of hate for it. Like even before the film got released, there was quite a lot of robust. Like there was quite a standoffish, like how dare they make this movie, because the original book is like by Nick Hornby is set in the UK. It's a like say it's set in London. It's a very British book, and because they basically transferred it over and made it American, they were like, how dare you change our culture, our jokes, our comedy, our like way of life isn't going to like hold up to the American side, because we've had like similar things. We've had some with success, like The Office, and you go the American Office that worked. We've had like so what was it thingy Life on Mars. The American version didn't hold up well when it did it transferred over to there. So it was kind of like a culture clash. So the people who were fans of the book were kind of like, right, this isn't going to be what we want. This isn't what we love, because the book is beloved. It is like a British classic. Like it has got a lot of fandom when it comes to as well. A lot of Nick Hornby books as well has had similar type of fate. I think Pitch Perfect, I think that's Nick Hornby. Could be right, could be wrong. Had a similar fate as well. But
my God,
when the movie got made, it became like almost like a sleeper hit. So a lot of people actually didn't get on board straight away, but it's kind of like this is one of the movies that found its home on DVD. This was a big hit on DVD, and funny enough, a lot of people use this as a date movie, because in essence the story is a love story. Might be the conventional love story, but it's done in a way that it's one of the most realistic. Fever pitch there. Sorry, Kelly.
She's always there to make sure you're right.
But yeah, it's probably the most realistic love story that you can get, like with Hollywood actors and movies and stuff, because it's not a Hollywood love story. It's not a love that would break the world. It's quite realistic and quite mundane.
It's really complex as well, and there's a lot of. And we were talking about this earlier. We had to stop ourselves from talking about it, otherwise we would have done a whole episode while we're walking through town.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of language that's used from what's he called? The main character. What's his name? Cusack. John Cusack.
John Cusack's character. Yeah. So,
yeah. There's a lot of language used in him where he's so bitter that he sees women in such a way. But because his bitterness starts to break down as the movie goes on, that starts to like wash out of him to where at the end he finally gets it. It's a love story. It's also a revelation story. It's also someone finding themselves. It's music. Changing it from London to America doesn't bother us. And I understand the whole music side of it when it comes to us, but putting it in Seattle was just
perfect. Yeah,
that is the cultural spot of music in America is Seattle. There's a lot of movements and changes happened in music, and it all stems from the Seattle area. So to have it there was just perfect.
And the cast. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the cast in this movie, because a lot of these were unknowns. Like this was one of Jack Black's first big roles. This is where we learned Jack Black could sing.
Motherfucker, can he sing? Got some pipes.
Like John Cusack, absolutely fantastic. And this is probably one of his best films from Grosse Pointe Blank as well. That's up there, that level.
That is Ant's favourite film of all time. It's Grosse Pointe Blank.
Joan Cusack is just absolutely the life and soul of any party that she's in. Like, even if she's in a small role in any film, you fucking remember her. And she leaves an impact on this movie. Like, there's two scenes that just blow you away throughout, like, with her. And we get a weird Tim Robbins cameo, which is just bizarre.
It was... It was almost like a Top Gun moment for me. I was like, where the fuck did Tim Robbins come from? And my favorite, Catherine Zeta-Jones. I love that woman. I really do. She is absolutely breathtakingly stunning. And I actually really loved that character, and I loved how he was so blindsided by the talk, by the attitude, by the vibe that she was given, that he didn't realize she's a horrible person.
Yes.
I love that. I'm trying to think. There was a young Sarah Gilbert. I say young. We've known Sarah Gilbert a lot younger than that, but she was a teenagery Sarah Gilbert was in it.
Lisa
Who else?
Bonet. Yes.
That woman makes me question a lot of things because oh my god, she is beautiful. But Zoe does that as well because Zoe looks exactly like her.
Yeah, it's quite a nice little bit of history through the movie, and last year they did try and do a TV show. I think it got cancelled after the first season or the first number of episodes, where they had Zoe Kravitz play the Rob character, so they gender bended it, changed it around. Which I watched the first episodes. Zoe Kravitz plays Rob perfectly, but the other characters couldn't replace Jack Black or couldn't replace the other guy, the bald guy that I always forget his name, Dick. His character, which was just completely bizarre.
But he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's when he's like, I'll tell. What's Jack Black character called?
It is Barry. Yeah.
Barry, that's it, Barry. I'll tell Barry. You'll go and tell Barry. I'll tell Barry. Yeah. And then it has this whole fucking 5-minute dialogue about how he's going to tell Barry. And he's just like, yeah, Dick, fine, Dick, whatever, Dick. And it's like, oh, you are an energy vampire. You really are. You're the Colin Robinson of this group.
But it's always an interesting starting point with the movie as well, because you don't see the act or like what's happened. You're kind of getting the after effect of the breakup. And Rob's sitting there, like, moping away, listening to his music, and he's starting off like top 5 breakup songs or something along those lines. Because anything that happens during this movie, like if someone dies, they say top 5 songs about death. So Sammy was like, "Yes, I'm all for this."
But it wasn't just about death. It was like top 5 songs that you want people to know, like, of your death, and it was songs like. Some of the songs that Jack Black came up with were absolutely perfect. It was like that's how people want you to like you. That's the song they want playing when they find out of your death. Is that one? I love that part.
But then, it goes through, and he just sets up the story. It's like starts naming girls' names and said because he's kind of angry at Laura for breaking up with him or leaving. He's like, you didn't make the top 5, Laura. You not even in the top 10 closest. And he goes through telling, and the stories, because you expect them to be like top 5 heartbreakers or top 5s that hurt the most. But it's in chronological. Is that right? The
chronological order, and every single one of them does not show him in a good light.
No.
And it's the revelation that he has later on, especially when he goes to his college girlfriend, and he's like, "Why did you break up with us and you like going off with someone else and sleep with someone else?" And she was like, "I was heartbroken that you broke up with me because I was 16 and wouldn't sleep with you." Yeah,
you referred to me as being tight, and like I said, you broke me that much that when the next person came along, it wasn't rape, but it wasn't that far off because I didn't have the energy to say no. And again, it gives you like realistic reactions and realistic things, because I can remember breakups. I can remember being weird, like, and it sounds bad, like, not due to this movie, but like I remember sending one of my ex-girlfriends a mixtape of like songs we used to listen to because I was sad that we were broken up. That was like teenage Paul, but again, this is John Cusack's Rob, who's late 30s, early 40s now, I would say, like in this role. So he should have known better in certain aspects, like the way he was going on with Laura, like Laura, the whole stalking and phoning in the rain type thing, just like that. Again, you always get bad vibes for it, but I can imagine people doing that when they were younger and going through breakups or heartache and not knowing how to deal or
you become completely irrational. You are not the person that you think you are in that situation. You become this other being, and we've all probably been and done it before, because everything that you know is wrong completely goes out the window.
Yeah. So Chris is asking, he wants to know what songs are on the mixtape now. Oh, Jesus Christ. I think, what was it? So it's college, before college. So it might have been Soundgarden, not Soundgarden. Was it Savage Garden? Savage
Oh
Garden.
my God.
Truly, madly, deeply.
No. Oh, no.
Could have been that album, I'm not sure. But I know it was recorded off the radio though, Chris. I didn't even buy it. I basically waited for the top 10 tracks like to be played and press record at certain times.
Sorry, Single Tears is Mambo number 5 starts blast.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beaver Forever, Spice Girls.
Oh no. Oh God. The only mixtape I ever got was when my friend introduced me to metal.
Yeah.
When I was 15 years old, and it was an educational tape. I wish I kept it. And it was just across all genres of metal, from the heaviest shit to the new metal that was just starting to emerge, the birth of Slipknot, which is why I wore my Slipknot t-shirt today, because it's the original 99 cover. And I first got into them in 99, and yeah, it's the only tape I've ever had. It was an educational tape. What
I absolutely just loved, though, and I shouldn't have loved this, is the elitist attitude of how they were in the store, like how they basically everything that nerdy up north represents, and we try and push out and say, no, you can't be like this. They are such twats when it comes to certain things. Like at one point, a parent walks in the store and asks, "Have you called Love Me by Stevie Wonder?" And Jack Black goes, "Do you even know your daughter?" Is your daughter in a coma? Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, I apologize. We said this when we were out today. I was like, is it wrong that I really love the elitist attitude of these, given that is not what we stand for at all, especially in, fandoms. We don't do the whole gatekeeping thing, but I love that aspect. But instantly, as the dad walked out the door and he did the whole grand gesture of, fuck you.
Yeah.
Jack Black instantly turns around and just goes, top 5 non-criminal activities of Stevie Wonder. Go.
It's like he makes it at the moment. And there's another moment as well when, there's 2 other moments. One, when the kids are shoplifting and they're stealing records, so they stop mocking them for the music choice that the store that was like, you're not listening to that stuff. And it's just like, oh my God. But also the other bit is when the proper nerd guy who's like almost wanting to have sex with the album, he's like, and Jack Black's, we've got it in, you would want to have a look at it, and he's going, are you going to sell it this week? And he goes, I'll take it back. And he goes, no, I don't think I'm going to sell it this week. And he's like, come back next week. And he's like, you said that last week. And you can see the frustration out of it, and like the mate who's sitting there just goes, I don't own that album, would you sell it to me for $40? And Joan Cusack goes, yeah, go on then. And he's going, so you would sell it to me, but you wouldn't sell it to that guy? And he's going, yeah, that guy's a nerd, you're cool. It's like, fucking hell.
He doesn't appreciate this, and you will, so that's why we'll sell it to you. And all of it, he goes, so you're all kind of elitist, aren't you? And they all go, yeah, at the same time. And you're not bothered about this?
No.
Yeah, I kind of like that. It's, I don't know, music's so, it's so personal.
Yes.
I think when it comes to music, it's in like a completely different category than what we deal with on a day-to-day basis in Nerdy Up North.
Yeah.
It's so personal to people, and it becomes enriched and part of their lives. Like, I was very much like that.
Yeah.
Like in me early, from being since getting that mixtape, it was like, oh shit, there's a different. I don't have to listen to the Backstreet Boys anymore.
No,
there's a different aspect of music, and I've always had an appreciation for music. I've grew up amongst it. Like my mum loved like the likes of AC/DC, and then she moved on to Simon and Garfunkel, and Phil Collins was a huge part of my life growing up. I loved Genesis.
Sussudio.
Loved it. And I've been to some of, even as a young kid, I've been to some like amazing concerts. I never thought in a million years, at 13 years old, I'd be watching Michael Jackson in Sheffield. Like, not in a million years did I ever think that was ever going to happen. But music, like, it's so personal to people, and this is like, this movie enriches that, how personal that is.
I love it, like how passionate they are about the music as well. I know it's always like joking inside, and like we feel like we can have conversations with most people. I'd be terrified to have a conversation about music with these people. Just how crazy, like how knowledgeable, and literally how much everything kind of thing is. If that makes sense there.
Oh, absolutely. I get scared of telling people who love music and who like this kind of person that I hate the Pixies, and I fell asleep at their set because I thought it was boring, because I know that style of music is like beloved by people. I would never want to hold a conversation with them. Like, I know my sister calls me the Forrest Gump of music because I have a tendency of if a band comes up, I'll go, I've seen them.
Yeah, well, it's like one of the things that go our top 5 B-sides on an album, on a single, and they start naming them. Then Jack Black started mocking them, saying, "Oh, you're going for the obvious ones, and you threw in a new one, or how much of a pussy are you," and stuff like that. It's like, fucking hell. I would just like, AC/DC, Foo Fighters.
The only B-side the first B-side that comes to my head is fucking Tragedy.
Yeah,
by Steps.
Tragedy.
I always remember when Tragedy came out, it had a B-side, and I was like, oh, okay.
I think the only B-side I remember is Do the Bartman, that had a Deep Deep Trouble on.
Wow. Yes, Kelly Pixies, they were absolutely abysmal.
Yeah. Everyone's got different tastes and different likes. But I mentioned Joan Cusack in this as well. There's 2 bits in it because she plays like the friend between Rob and Laura. Like their characters is like the go-between. And
I generally thought it was Rob's sister at first. I mean, obviously because it is John's sister. But I was like, are they doing real life here? Because they don't really say
like what their relationship is. But when Laura tells her side of the story, we get Liz walking into the rock and says, "Hey, Rob, fuck you," then storms out. And it's like, whoa, like proper moment. And then like the sad moment when Laura's father dies, and she like the kind of like that recollection between Rob and Laura. But when they're at the funeral and Liz is clearly slagging Rob off, and that argument is so well done, but it's so uncomfortable to watch at the same time because you know what she's doing. And it's proper gaslighting at the bestest time as well, because he's like trying to defend himself, and she's like, "Well, this isn't about you, Rob. This is about Laura." But just clearly slagging him off nastily to anyone that would listen. And again, it's just done so well. And like honestly, it's just like she plays such a small role, but she has such an impact in the movie that it leaves you shaking at times.
This is why I assumed they were brother and sister, because the way he spoke back to her was almost like how a brother would speak to their sister.
Yeah.
That was the kind of feel I was getting. I was like, oh, okay, so maybe it is his sister, even though it is his sister, but maybe that is his sister. That phone call when she rings him to tell her that dad's died, that felt like genuine pain.
Yes. Yeah.
And especially in the funeral as well, like I felt myself welling up because the cries felt so genuine. I was like, either she's a really good actress or she's been through some shit where she knows what that pain feels like.
Yeah.
Because it was too real.
No, and it is heartbroken. But as we find out, like say earlier on in the movie, that Rob's a bit of a twat. Like he's made some.
He's not a good person at all.
No, he makes some interesting choices. He gets very selective with like, because he gets annoyed when he finds out Laura's moved on, like, and she's with Ian, who's Tim Robbins' character, or Roy, depending on Ray, depending on
Raymond,
Ian Raymond or Ray Ian. Like their chemistry is just horrible. Like Ray and Laura just don't mix or mash at all. It's like
no, he's like, I don't know. Do you know who he reminds us of? Disco Stew.
Yeah.
That's been bugging us. It's when he's standing in the record store and I'm like, who do you look like? It's Disco Stew. The conversation first off, the sex scene that he creates in his head is hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. And then the arguments he creates while he's standing in front of him, that's even funnier. It's the beating up. It's when all three of them
that's murdering him and stuff. and you don't know which one's going to be the real one. And the end one is just walks out without saying anything. It's like, all right, and so he pussies out.
But that's how it would go, though. That's how you do it in your head. You create all these scenarios of like one shouting back, one coming up with some really witty like comeback, like where you devastate them, or three, you beat the shit out of them. But the end result is you actually don't see anything at all.
Definitely. And as you said, because Rob does some questionable things in this movie. Like that, again, that borders to the point where you start disliking the character, because he asks questions which everyone in the chat and everyone like who's listening, if you haven't done this, you are bullshit. You are talking out of your arse. So when you break up with someone, you're sad, and if you meet them again, and if they're with someone else, you will think in your head, have they slept with each other yet? And that will drive you nuts. Well, Joan Cusack asks the question, and she says no, which is great. And what he does, he goes out that night and bangs Lisa Bonet's character. So he's like, double standards. And then
he's got massive double standards.
Yeah, and then when he meets up with Laura a few weeks later, or a few days later, and he asks her the same question, and Laura basically asks him, "What would you like me to answer?" He says, "I would like to tell me that you didn't sleep with him," and she goes, "I can't." And he goes off in the massive hissy fit. It's embarrassing, and
it's terrible.
It's like a teenager going off. But that's I think that's what Rob's problem is throughout the film. He's still living teenage Rob's life and he doesn't know where he wants to go. And
he doesn't understand relationships. He never has done, because he's got such a picture in his head of what he thinks a relationship is. And it's not until obviously right at the end where he has the huge revelation that every single thing that he did is a fantasy.
Yes.
It's all fantasy. It's all made up. She is the only real thing and consistent thing that he has had, and it's taken him that long to realize it. So it is a massive journey. Like, he is a dick. And I'm like, the thing that what happened with Laura. Now, I didn't know if this was true or not with the way it was playing out, especially when Joan Cusack walks in and does the whole Rob fuck you bit, and then you get the story as to why she said that. And it's like, one, he took $4,000 off her and never paid her back. Two, he
cheated on her. He slept with someone else.
He cheated on her while she was pregnant, and she ended up having a termination. And what was the other one?
They had a conversation where he said he was looking around for someone else.
That's it, yeah. And so that sounds really shitty until he explains it all.
In his way, it says,
it's still shitty. It's still not great. No. The money side, that's beside the point. That's money and but the whole he did sleep with someone else. He had no idea that she was pregnant. And even more shocked that she had a termination. And he did say, I was looking around for someone else.
But she was trapped into that, though. That's the thing. And that was the conniving bit. It was like she asked, "We're not happy." He said, "Okay," and he said, "Would you be open to the idea of going with someone else?" And again, he was just being honest with her, but he was giving her the out that she kind of wanted. But again, when you're going through all the past relationships, the first one being hilarious, he just used to meet behind the bleachers and snog this young lass, and then one day he goes and she's snogging someone else.
They were together for 4 hours. And he kissed her, and then 4 hours later she was kissing someone else, and she ended up marrying that person.
So he and the whole journey on the movie is basically going to go find these the four big breakups or the four big heartbreaks and see if he is the problem or what the problem was. So, and each time he's kind of getting a little bit growth, but it's not kind of handling it in the right way. The first one is he rings up and gets the lass's mother, and he's like, well, no, she married her first boyfriend, and he's been a dick about it. He's going, nope, that was me. I was the first boyfriend. And she's like, okay, Bob, have a nice day.
It's Rob.
So that kind of moves on to that point. Then the other one is a little bit, as you said, you get the college one, which is just, well, not college, high school before college, because it's absolutely heartbreaking. Like how, again, it's probably a male's perspective. You don't see it the female way as that, where he's just like, oh, I just want to touch a boob, and she's like, I'm not ready for you to touch my boob. I like you, I've got feelings for you, but I'm not at that same stage, and he's like, not accepting. So again, that was a bit hard to watch there.
But you see it from his side, like because he's made it out in her head that she's like this put out queen, and she's like had all these men and this and he's thinking to himself, then why am I not special? Why is she not doing this with me? And it turns out she wasn't like that at all.
No,
it was all just talk.
Yeah,
and she really liked him, and she really was waiting out for the right time for her.
Yeah,
and he was a dick about it.
As we all, which is again, I can understand. As I said,
thankfully he didn't go beyond what he could have done.
Yeah,
because that could have been, that could have taken that character in such a dark place. There's no fucking way he could get out of that.
Yeah, it would have been a different film, and probably people wouldn't be enjoying it as well. The other one is a little bit more sad. Two people going through breakups, and the next one's Charlie. The whole Charlie exit, where he felt he was going out with her, but he was intimidated her. He couldn't live up to her standard. This is Catherine Zeta-Jones, a bigger than life personality, sexy woman that knows her worth, knows what she can get, and just got bored with him basically.
And the thing is, though, we've known people like that, especially in college, like who are so fucking they're so good at talking, they can convince you of their own bullshit.
Yes.
Until you finally start to break it down, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. And then when he met up with her later on, it's just like, no, you're an arsehole. And then he asks her, why me? Why did this happen? And she's brutally honest to him, to the point where I kind of thinks it made them realise and go, okay, that I can understand that there. And the next breakup's the sad one, where you feel a little bit sorry for her, where they were both going through a bad time and hooked up. She moved on quicker than him, and he went back, and she saying to him, "Oh, I made a mistake," and he could have basically went back there, and he made the right choice. That was
not a good place to be.
No, I thought
it wasn't. It was very comforting for them. They were both in the same position. It looked like more friendship than it did anything else.
Yeah.
Especially when they're sitting cuddling in bed together. It was such a, I don't know, it seemed they were very comforting for them. And I was like, oh gosh, it's the man from The Conjuring. I never know her name.
Yes.
And when he goes back to her, she's still in that same place.
Yeah, and he's not, which is thankfully, as I said, with growth. But I think, and again, the big problem Laura had, and why Laura moved on, is because Rob was such in a place in life where he was miserable. He hated everything. He hated himself.
He was such a miserable person.
So it was bringing her down. And she, as I said, she is made clear through this film. She's not looking to get married. She's not looking to have the family life side of things. All she wanted, though, was to be happy, because I think there's a conversation they have which is quite poignant. It's like, oh, you've come back to this dump. Why did you ever move in here? It's like, because you were here. I wanted to be with you. And I thought that was quite a touching thing. And when they had conversations, it was almost like she was fighting not to be with him. And as we find out, that was kind of the case when she picks him up in the most embarrassing way at her father's funeral. When he leaves and does the right thing, he apologizes and says, look, I'm sorry. And it's probably one of the most heartfelt sorries that you see on screen.
It was sincere.
Yeah.
It was so sincere, because it wasn't, and she knew that. She knew it wasn't I'm sorry you've lost your dad. It's just, I'm sorry.
Yeah. For everything that had been caused and everything as well. And throughout this movie, and again, I've not got any quotes up. I should have really thought about that. The dialogue in this movie is unbelievable, and the way the people deliver the dialogue, everyone who's part of it is just it captivates you. And I know why Kelly loves this thing, because it's a movie about music, but it's almost like it sounds really sad. It's almost like you're watching a book being developed in front of your eyes, because of the dialogue, because the dialogue's so rich and so almost enhancing the scenery around it.
Oh yeah, it's very it's so grown up as well. it's so grown up to the point when he's doing his reshuffle of his albums,
the vinyls,
and he's not doing and his vinyls, and he's not doing chronological order.
No, he's not doing alphabetical order.
He's not doing alphabetical order. He's doing it in, what did he say? It's in like a
semi-biographical. So basically, if he bought someone a present and didn't give him it, it's in the pile that, like, say, why he kept it type thing.
Yeah.
Which is just mind-blowingly. And there's probably people out there that do that, which, again, as a collector, I can understand, but I have no time or patience for that shit.
No. I like to have things in a certain way. So I like to have, like, things set up to where, like, all my horror stuff's together, all my Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? That's as far as I go. And my books are exactly the same. Yeah. So my books, because my books is probably the biggest collection that I have. I've got horror. I've got in Answering graphic novels and biographies. In the living room, I've got all the books I want to read. So, and then I've got my Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings one. So I have them. That's about as far as I'll go. Yeah. But I will not put them in like order or anything. But yeah,
definitely
crazy.
But again, and it's with this movie as well. It's got the big performances, the big scenes. It's like the little things in the movie that always, like, I remember most, like the interaction when someone comes in off the street and sees Jack Black's, like Barry's poster for band members, and he looks like the most metal rocker that's ever been, and their interaction's so casual and just like, he's like, "Oh, you're looking for a band?" Yep. And like Barry's like the most, when you see him earlier or see him in any scenes, he's the most excitable little bunny rabbit. He's Jack Black, but just a little bit toned down. He's not like quite Jack Black from School of Rock. But he's kind of like, but still hyper. But on this scene, he's quite toned back and placid and like just like not really overselling it and like understated. Sorry, and he's going through this conversation. He's got, "Do you play any instruments?" He's going, "Nope." He's good. "What do you do?" He's good. "Sings." Good. "All right then." And he's getting, and the guy's writing down a number. So "There's my number. This is where we're going to be practicing. Be there on Tuesday night." And he's get right on, and they do like a really awkward fist bump type thing.
Yeah, they don't know what to do. Yeah, like a high five, fisty bump. Hands don't know where to go.
Yeah, and then as I said, Jack Black's character is just no selling it. Like, "Oh, this is just another day," and John Cusack's Robs is like, "What's going on, man? This is the first time someone's came in and looked at your poster in 1,000 years. What's happening?" And he's like, "Oh, it is what it is. Just, yeah, you know, I can sing a little bit." And
understatement of the year.
Yes. But again, it doesn't really play off to the end, because him and like Rob's character has a bit of like a combustible friendship, but like you can tell, like almost brotherly, because as I tell you at the start of the movie, these two guys were only hired to come in 3 days a week, and just they started coming in every day of the week, and he can't get rid of them because they're working for free, basically. But they have arguments, they have little fights, but they have a big blowout as well, because the kids who shoplift leave a tape in the store, and Rob walks in and listen to music, and like Jack Black and Dick's character is basically looking so melancholy, looking sad, and it's almost like they've basically given up, and it's like, "Oh, right, who's this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's such and such from outside." And Jack Black just goes, "It's so fucking good." And Rob's going, it's really good. So he goes out and he goes and finds them, and he's like, this is, as I said, after Rob has been on his massive journey, and we realise like Rob's not wanting
where
to
Rob's
just
passion lies,
and this is where it kind of takes up. And he goes, "I'm going to press you an album. I'll recover my costs, and then you get everything over it." And then Jack Black's character's listening behind. He goes, "Wait there, you're going to produce an album for them?" And he's going, "Yeah." And he's going, "Well, I'm like, say, one of the most talented people you will ever meet, and why are you not doing an album for me?" He's like, "Because they've got a band, you haven't." And he's like, "I've got Sonic Death Monkey." Sonic fucking Death Monkey.
Oh, name that! Oh, that band name is so cool. Even though he doesn't use it in the end, but it's so cool.
But the reveal at the end is so perfectly done, because with the love story, you think it's going to be a nice happy ending, which kind of is in a way to degree. But Rob being Rob, like I say, a beautiful young lady walks into the store, and she works for like a music magazine, and he gets like his eyes turned, so he starts to get, oh, check, she's interested, and it's like almost like someone's paying me attention, getting excited. It's almost like Chris. It's like tickle Chris, give Chris attention, Chris will fall in love with you. That's how it works.
That's how me and him are friends.
Yes, so that's what pretty much happens to Rob, and then he's sitting and making her a mixtape. And Laura sees the signs and goes, okay, but she doesn't kick off because, like, say she could have. She just leaves it, and then they have a meeting. You expect the kind of the meetup. You think Rob's going to break up with it.
Yeah,
that was my impression when I first saw it.
Yeah, because he was saying, he was sat there and he was like, because all the way through the film, Rob's talking to the camera.
Yeah.
And he sits there and he goes, we've had such a great time, and it's like until now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what have you done? Like you're such a broken person that you can't accept like happiness, you can't accept change. You're a dick. You really are, and that's not how it goes.
No. He asks her to marry her in the most unromantic way. And she responds perfectly, by the way. Like, her response is amazing. Like, did you expect me to say yes? And his speech is perfect. And I know it sounds bad, like, if you listen to it, the way he's describing how his feelings towards her, that to me, and I know can send, like, you know when you first fall in love with someone, you get all the, like, the butterflies, you get all the honeymoon period where everything is dialed up to 11. But that's great at the start, and that's perfect. But the real love and the real commitment to me is the person that you're with 10 years later, and you're still not bored with them. You still like to be in their company. You still enjoy having conversations with that person. And again, I know it might not sound as romantic and as special, but it's fucking wholeheartedly I agree with every word he said.
Yeah, it was real. It was incredibly real. And you saw, right, like, me and Anthony together 18 years. Like, it says something like, I love spending time with him. He makes me laugh ridiculous amounts. But the conversations never died out. And I totally got what he was saying. And it was the whole, it's just when he turned around and he was like, they're all fantasies. That it was them words that stuck with us when he was like, they're fantasies and you're real.
Yeah.
And you're very much what I want and need.
Yeah. I think the need part is that's the thing. Because I know it sounds weird, because, again, you can go through your life. I'm not saying you have to have a partner. But when you've got someone who you connect with on such a level, and like the level that Rob and Laura connect at, that you don't need anything else.
No, you don't.
And she kind of gets it as well, and she understands. And again, like, she doesn't want to get married, and he just says it was it was because I asked the question, and she went, yeah, you did, and that probably meant more to her than going down the aisle and having the big son.
It's to know. Sometimes it's more to know that's where you would see yourself. That's the only place that you see yourself as being with them to the point of marriage. It doesn't mean that you have to go ahead and do it. Yeah. I mean, Christ, me and Ant were together 13 years before we even got married. But it was always something that we were like, well, we will do one day. Yeah. But it was never the, be all and end all. We were almost like we were a married couple before we even signed a piece of paper. Yeah.
No, and again, that's as we said earlier, to me, this is probably the most truest representation of like a love story or real love that I've watched in a comedy stroke dark. It gets dark at times. It's not like where there's death and stuff in it, but there is elements where you're like, oh, yeah.
But it's real though. Like, for all that he has such a dick mentality towards women, because like he even like points out, what was it, John Dillinger got shot behind that theater, and he even blames a woman for that, and it's like, oh, how has a woman broke you to this point where you feel this way about them? And then when you look back, they didn't. He did it to himself.
And that's the realization you get through this movie, and I think it's so well done. And again, with other actors or with other people playing it, I don't think it would have had the punch or as done as well, especially like say with John Cusack's character just being John Cusack in a way, but like he oozes like confidence and smarmy or downbeaten so well, like in the movies that he does. And this one, he comes across, as you said, there's times that you feel sorry for him, there's times that you hate him, there's times you're cheering for him, and then there's times where you understand, you think, shit, I get that. I've done similar things, not to the degree, but I've done similar things where I can relate to him as well. And then we have two moments in this movie that absolutely broke me completely when I first watched it. The first one is when they're having the party, and he is basically saying, "Oh shit, I've got to introduce Jack Black's band now." And he's basically like,
it's like, I should have played the whole album because they're having an album launch for the band that he was taking on because he's doing it. He's going to try his own record label. He's like, I should have played the whole album before he got up. The night's ruined. It's done with.
But sorry, just before we go on to it as well, the name of the record label, perfect.
What was it?
Top 5, top 5 Rave Records.
Top 5, that's it.
But yeah,
that's it. It's like almost like he had that planned in his head.
Yes, so it's almost like he's playing with us all the way through. But
yeah,
and he introduces the band in the most lackluster way. And
he's like, please to God, I don't want this to happen. No. Here they are though.
Because to come on, you expect like the first to surprise you with the way they dress, because the meeting that the meeting Jack Black had before with the guy with the rock, you thought it was going to be like a metal band, because even the guy's like, oh, metal and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, he looks so metal. He looks like he's from Seattle.
Yeah, and so then the band dressed up like they've basically a backing group from James Brown, like with the purple suits, all look dining, and you're thinking, all right, and so what they're going to play, and all you hear is do do do, like the tune, and you hear is I was going to sing it, but I can't. Jack Black singing "Let's Get It On," and and it is absolutely not perfect. And seeing John Cusack's Rob's character's reaction is magic. It is pure gold. And
yeah, it's crazy. The realization of this isn't a shit sandwich like I thought it was going to be.
It's going to be very interesting and very special. So, and again, that was something that kind of resonated. I was like, great. And if they ended it there, I thought, great, it would have been a good ending. Yeah. But they didn't. And this is one of the ones where, and again, I know I've slagged off multiple endings on other movies, so we see it a number of times on these podcasts. This time it kind of fits because you kind of get a little bit of a resolution. It's like Rob's character completely redeems himself in this one moment.
Yeah.
And he's talking about doing a top 5. He's get this top 5 isn't about me. It's about Laura and the things I think she'll like, and I think that she'll like going forward. And I've worked out how to do that. And I think, great, he's got it. That bloke now, he is going to have such a great life because he's basically realised what he wants and who he wants to be with, and he's not going to be like everyone makes mistakes, everyone fucks up from time to time, and no one's ever going to be perfect.
Oh yeah.
But he's got the resolution and realisation of what his life is going to be, or what his life would have been if it went a different path. And I just thought it was like really poignant and done picture perfect well.
Yeah, it was everything that was about her.
Yeah.
And it was a mixtape for her.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's going to take hours.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. And I just think as a movie, if you're going to like end it like that, especially if it's a love story, and again, I know I keep saying to a realistic love story as well. I just thought, clap, well done. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I knew the minute it came on when I saw the aesthetic of it all, and I was like, oh, this is right up my fucking street. Like, how have I gone this long without ever watching it? And I don't know if it's because, like I said earlier, Grosse Pointe Blank is one of Anne's favorites. I don't get it. I don't particularly get John Cusack half the time.
No.
So maybe that's what put us off.
Yeah.
But every time I have seen something with that man in, I have never been disappointed.
No.
So I don't know why. I have that feeling instantly of, oh, it's John. What was the last thing John Cusack did? I knew I was meant to look at something last night and I forgot.
It was the last one I remember was The Cell, the Stephen King one.
Didn't he do Room?
He done that he done quite a long. That was quite a long time, but I think the Cell came out during lockdown. But it was he was in Identity as well. Identity's a brilliant movie.
Right. I just know him from Con Air.
Yeah. Put the bunny back in the box. But yeah. So with your first watching, what are you going to rate this movie out of 5?
I'm going to give it a 5.
You're going to give it a 5, a strong 5.
I'm going to give it a strong 5. Aesthetic, story, development, like personal growth was shown in it, and it was incredibly real. And if I don't pick my phone up during a film,
yes,
then it's done its job. I do this with every film, and this is the reason why I love making notes. And today I didn't want to make any notes. I just wanted to talk about the movie in itself. I didn't want to go and have a look, and because I looked at the IMDb afterwards and I was like, oh, that's a lot. Yeah. We'll leave that for today. But I do, after every movie, I go and always check IMDb. I go and check out all the facts, and if they're interesting enough, which I've found on some of them, they are. This one, I just wanted to come in with pure feeling. Like, I just wanted to be able to talk about what I'd just seen, as opposed to going, well, this happened there and this happened there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
No, this one is just about pure emotion, I think. That's why I love this movie.
Absolutely. Some movies work, like, off the top of my head, Top Gun. Yeah. So much went on in production of that movie that you cannot not talk about it. Yeah. But this one, it's got such an enriched story, and the plot of, like, the whole thing of it all, like, you don't need the film can speak for itself. You don't need the background on it. If you want to go and look at the background, IMDb is there. I don't have to bore you with it.
Yes. But no, again, it's one of them movies. There's nothing, a single note or like second I would change in this movie. It's got so much nostalgia, so much like feelings. Like, I remember I watched it again today when we got back from the con, and I still felt the same way watching it now than I did when I first watched it. And it's one of those movies where it does stick you. And again, if we talk about top 5s, it's a movie that does float in my top 5 quite often. It's something
Hasn't it been in your top 5?
Possibly, it has been in before, but it does float.
Been in before.
Yeah, but we all know top 5s can float and change. But one question I wanted to ask to watching this movie as well, Sammy. What's your top 5 songs to be played at your funeral?
I only have one.
Right.
And I've said this since the day I heard it, and it was probably back in the early 2000s. And it's not the entirety of the song; it's just part of it.
Right.
Oh God! It's "November Rain" by Guns N' Roses.
You want everyone to cry at yours,
but it's not. But it's not the actual singing. It's when Slash gets up on the piano, if you're watching the music video, gets up on and he starts doing the din and then the whole orchestra starts kicking in, and then he comes in with his guitar solo and it's that is what I want at my funeral. I can't quite decide if I want it going in or it's probably coming out because it's so epic and so like dramatic. Like, that's my exit music. Anthony's got a whole album, like he wants playing it his. But that's the only song that ever comes to mind when I think of funeral songs. I know me aunt's granddad had a ragtime.
Right.
One of his. It was so, like, because going in it was like Unchained Melody or something, so it was like like heartbreaking song, and it was such a lovely service, and then just all of a sudden it went deadly silent and this ragtime band started playing, and I was like, well, that's a bit unexpected. I didn't expect that one. It totally changed the mood.
I'd probably score a bit funny, like say "Don't Feed the Reaper" or something like that.
My mum's is what is it? Just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year. What's that one?
Yeah, I can't remember the band. Like someone. Kelly will probably be able to tell you that one, but no.
Kelly, tell us, please. That's my mum's, and my dad's is "Time to Say Goodbye."
Michael had Love Shack.
That's brilliant. That is so good.
Well, Bob Dylan, Times of a Changing or something like that.
Oh.
Just have Watchmen playing in the background or something.
I just can't even like think of. That's the only song that ever comes to my head. I'm the only person. My dad's a twat when it comes to like talking about stuff like this, because I'll be going, remember, this is the song that I want. And I was like, oh, you don't have to remember stuff like this. And he'll go, no, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Oh, Pink Floyd. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. See, Kelly knows. I'd probably have Landslide. Right. I love Landslide. I think that's such a beautiful song, and it is about obviously getting older and things coming to an end. So Landslide's a good one.
Probably something to piss something off as well. Probably like Freebird, just for how long it is.
Yeah, and you got to sit there in its entirety throughout the whole
Listen to the full song and all the solos.
Yeah.
Don't you dare cut this off, bitch. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, it's such a hard one, because it's like I don't particularly want to picture my funeral to start with.
Well, let's all do it. Let's take our eyes closed and say, what would it look like if Sammy died? Everyone wear black.
It'd be a very miserable fucking place for you all.
Oh, we'll have to replace you on Monsters. That sounds.
Yes, Kelly, Landslide. Yeah. Yeah, Ant's got like a whole fucking album. I can't even think of half the shit he comes out with.
Fat Bottom Girls by Queen or something like
that. Yeah. I'm sure one of them's a Tupac song.
All right. California.
Oh no, it's not. I'm not going to say it on here what it's called, because it's incredibly derogatory.
Try not to get in trouble.
You wanted it at our wedding. I was like, you fucking asshole, man. No, you're not having that.
What was it? I think we had Closer by Nine Inch Nails play at ours, so that was fine.
Michaela had Goodbye Horses. Michaela had that at hers. Ours was Don't Stop Believing, but it was the wedding singer version, the orchestra version.
Right.
You know, when him and Linda. When she doesn't show up and you can hear it in the background. That's what we had. That's what I walked down the aisle to. Nina Simone, I Put a Spell on You, and Power of Love.
Oh, we had Somewhere Over the Rainbow when we walked out of the ceremony.
Sorry. No, that's so perfect for you too.
Well, it was a Wizard of Oz themed wedding, I think. And we had.
You think?
I remember.
You were there, right?
Possibly, I couldn't remember my date of birth at the time.
I couldn't see a lawful impediment, and she wouldn't move past it.
I was trying to convince Kev as well why Batman and Superman was a good film. Don't think I won that argument, but yeah. But then, what was it? We had Everlong, the acoustic version, as our first dance. So that was a nice one. But yes,
I didn't have a first dance. We didn't do the traditional wedding like Paul. We had like very, very small ceremony, and it was done like we're married. Go away. We're gonna go and enjoy our night now.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Yes. So that was our little ditty on. Yes, on High Fidelity. So what have you got coming up tomorrow, though, Sammy?
Tomorrow, we invite you all to come and check in to the Bates Motel. There is plenty of vacancies.
Don't be going in the shower, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing Psycho.
Yes.
We're just doing original Psycho. The other one doesn't exist. There's no unhinged butthole getting talked about at all.
I didn't mind the sequels, I'll be honest. The 2 and 3
we talk about them.
Yeah.
I love them. Right. I think they're a great addition to the Psycho franchise.
Which one was it where it was done really interesting? It was like a radio station that was talking to Norman, but it was like almost like you don't know what was happening, where it was going. It was like dark, windy night.
Yeah, it's either 3 or 4. I can't remember how many it went up to, but it's the last one of the sequels that they did, because I know it's Anthony Perkins is one of his last things he did, because he was a poorly man. But it's a radio show, and it's like Norman's like sorted his life out, his head's clear, but then she's starting to creep back in, and it's the radio talk show who basically walks him through it all to the point where he gets to where he is. And we talk all about it tomorrow because I absolutely adore that film. But we will not talk about Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche and whatever the fuck they were trying to do with that. But that's at 8 o'clock tomorrow on YouTube. Come and join us.
Yes, and I might release a black and white version as well, just to be clever. So there might be another version of the Monsters Up North that gets released on another day, so that could be fun.
Interesting.
I know the Top Grumps are back this week. They're talking about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I'll be scared though, because the original video was about 30 minutes, so they've cut out about 10 minutes of footage.
I would hate to think what they've cut out after what I've seen today.
Yeah, it's just basically Lee and Chris, mostly Chris spouting racist nonsense. So they've had to cut that out. They're very bad people, them too. I think we might have a gigs this week. So I think that might be out on Thursday. I know we have a Women of Nerd Culture out on Saturday.
Saturday, talking about kick-ass women in nerd culture, and probably going to get really angry at this one, given some of the posts that I've seen today. It'll be fun. Come and see me rage. Come see me rage with the two kindest people I know in my life, who I can't imagine getting angry that I am going to show myself right up.
Certainly. So just with the news earlier as well, I do have a little video to play. So I'll go quiet while this plays, and then we'll have a conversation afterwards.
We'll see what you think.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving! The show goes on! This is my home! They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here!
Well, people.
So I do feel a bit mean, because
I didn't expect that reaction.
We do, well, to be honest, there is an announcement.
There is. There's a couple of announcements.
Yeah.
One, Paul's not going anywhere.
Yeah. We are taking a 2-week break.
Yeah, we are. We are going on it. We are for the first time in 3 years, Paul will have a break. That's why I was emphasizing the point earlier. Like, he hasn't had a break in 3 years, guys. We're having a 2-week break after tonight, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time.
So this prank was meant to go out for like 2 weeks, and I was meant to do a return when the lovely Kelly and Sonia join us for The Shining.
Yep.
But some good news, and again, we can't tell you this news yet because I've had to sign an NDA. Something has happened in the last week with Nerdy Up North, and something that potentially is going to come out, and we will tell you as soon as we can. But if I had been pretended to be gone for a short period, that would have affected it.
It could have gone tits up. No, we are. Something is about to happen to Nerdy Up North that has never happened yet. This is where we have wanted to reach to. It's a relationship with someone that could potentially go in a very good direction for us. You've pissed a lot of people off tonight. Hey, I gotta say it. I think I deserve Oscar of the Night, mind. I look so fucking somber at the beginning. He's not going anywhere because he's not fucking going anywhere. But it was going to last a lot longer than an hour.
So it was supposed to happen. Like, we were supposed to come back for the thing, but I feel like I do feel like a dick. It was meant to be a joke, so I do apologise if I've upset anyone. But
it's only in the context of the guys that who knows who it was going to be a little giggle, and so Paul could have 2 weeks off without people bothering him.
Yes, that was the main thing. To have a break. So
anything to do with Nerdy Up North for the next 2 weeks, come to me. I'm the one who's still doing podcasts. He's not. He is literally taking a break.
Yes,
leave him alone.
So yes. Tunes will be back when Jake gets back off on holiday, so that's not going away. So yeah, so this was supposed to be like, yeah, Paul's going to have a nice time where people leave him alone. But yes, I am sorry, guys. I thought it was funny. Kelly, you're saying the sick again. Kelly, you knew about this. Kelly, you were in on this. So Kelly, don't blame it instantly, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, you had to know about this because you would have shit yourself going, well, what about The Shining?
But yes, but thank you. Like, I do appreciate the love, and like, it did make me feel like a little bit wanted. I was expecting people to be cheering and not even bothered, but so yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Kelly knew all about this, by the way. Kelly and Sonia.
Yes, so both of them knew because we didn't want them to like think everything was going to be fucked up. But yeah,
yeah. But honestly, guys, what is about to happen for Nerdy Up North? He couldn't do what he wanted to do.
Yeah,
it's going to be huge. It's going to be
interesting.
It's going to be fantastic, and it's going to be something that will change. Not change us. It's not going to change how we do things or anything like that. It's not in that relation. It's just something additional.
It could be an opportunity. That's the thing.
It's a huge opportunity, and if we don't fuck this up,
yes, which I would have.
Yeah. I had to message him the other day, and I was like, "You can't do this."
Yeah. Sorry. So yes, so I do love you guys, and I appreciate everything you do. And
Ben's crying now, like, why is Finley still awake?
Tell Finley I love him.
I think we should be asking you that question, Chris, not like why.
Can I just say as well? We went to a convention today, and people brought the children. Your kids are so well behaved. I have to admit, like Finley was amazing. Like say, Alex was so much fun. Sophie was lovely as well. I know I'm kissing everyone's asses now.
We were literally talking about it when we came on. It was like so nice, like because we're not parents. We don't, we have the loveliness of walking away from it all at the end of the day, and you guys still have to deal with it. But when we're out, like it's just nice, like. Your kids are so chill and they're so like they're just lovely children. We generally were having that conversation before we came on.
But yes, so because the way we were going to finish this episode, I was going to go, it's not on the same bat time, it's not on the same bat channel, but we will just in 2 weeks time. We're going
2 weeks time, guys. 2 weeks. So you've got 2 weeks away from us, and then we're back with The Shining, and we're starting to ramp up to spooky season.
Yes, so we'll get Sammy's happy time. So when we come back, we're doing a Stephen King double bill. We're doing The Shining, then Doctor Sleep the week after.
Yeah,
so yes,
it's gonna be good.
But yes, I feel like the worst person. Well, I want to get loads of shit tonight as well, so that's fine. But guys, thank you so much. We appreciate everything you do. We appreciate everything that you do for the community. We can keep going forward. The audio will be up on Tuesday.
Oh shit, that's right. So the audio for this episode and all other episodes are up on a Tuesday. Please remember, if you're not already, anyone else who's watching additionally outside of the live, like the YouTube, subscribe to YouTube.
And I'm sorry as well.
Hit the notification bell. And if you are listening on audio, just give us a like. Give us a don't comment on the fact of what happened earlier. It was a joke. It's a joke. Do you know what? It's a joke amongst our the people who come into our live chat. Has nothing to do with you audio people. Just so you know. But yeah, if you're on audio, give us a like, give us a review, give us anything just so we know that you're there. It also helps the algorithm. Hit the notification bell as well, so you don't miss an episode.
Cool. So yes, so same back time in 2 weeks' time, same back channel in 2 weeks' time.
And stay nerdy, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.